It's about that time. We are 40 something days for the Daytona 500 and we're having some big names entering the Great American Race. Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Jett. Welcome back to episode of Inside Lines for the very first episode of 2025. Hope you all had a wonderful holidays and a great New Year's. And yeah, 40 some days to Daytona 500, like I said, which means the countdown is on and the names are starting to come out as to who will be a part of the Great American Race. Now, even though this is a Great American Race, it does bring in a lot of international flair from racers around the world. And it looks like from one of the biggest, most popular names in IndyCar is getting ready to make his NASCAR debut. Now, first reported by Bobby Parsons 07 on social media, said that four-time Indianapolis 500 champion Helio Castroneves will compete in the Daytona 500, at the very least attempt to qualify for the Daytona 500, driving for Team Trackhouse as part of the Project 91 program. Now, according to Bobby Parsons, Justin Marks, the co-owner of Trackhouse Racing, has been around the Meyershank Racing Garage or paddock around IndyCar and IMSA for a number of weeks over the past year or two as a way to try and maybe convince Helio to compete in the 500. Now, this isn't the first time Helio's name has been a part of the 500 conversation. We talked about it last year in an episode leading up to last year's 500 about how when Castroneves won an SRX race, he was promised by Donald Hawk, who I believe is the CEO or one of the owners of the SRX, promised him a ride for the Daytona 500. That was supposed to happen in 2024. Obviously, it was not able to happen, but it looks like 2025 is set in place. Now, there has not been an official announcement yet, so there is a little bit of an asterisk next to it. However, there have been reports that leading to that direction that Helio Castroneves will be a part of the Daytona 500 driving for Team Trackhouse in 2025. Now, of course, this is amazing news, huge news to have a guy like Castroneves, like I said, one of the most popular names in IndyCar, certainly one of the most popular drivers out there in the world, one of the best drivers, Rolex 24 at Daytona champion, IMSA champion, four-time Indy 500 champion. He's one of the best and one of the most charismatic drivers that we have in this world. So to have him be a part of the Daytona 500 is a huge W for NASCAR, and it'll be awesome to see how he can do trying to race his way into the 500, of course, competing at the duels. Now, of course, this will also be really cool because if he does make it, he will be the first Brazilian to be a part of the Daytona 500, so to add the legacy or add to the history of drivers from around the world to compete in the Great American Race. And another driver that is trying to get a ride is a former champion of the Cup Series, just recently retired Martin Truex Jr. Now, it was reported by Denny Hamlin himself that he will have a ride for Truex for next year's 500 or this year's 500. Now, obviously with the lawsuit going on, they weren't able to make something happen. But it looks like Truex will be saved by a fellow Toyota team, but it's from an unlikely source. It's not 2311. It's not Joe Gibbs Racing. It's not Legacy Motor Club. Again, there are rumors swirling around, again, coming from Bobby Parsons, that are leaning towards the direction of Tricon Garage. Now, this, again, is kind of a rumor. So, again, kind of take this with a grain of salt, but there are some things that do lead into that category. Obviously, Truex has heavy help from Toyota. He wants to run the Daytona 500. Toyota wants to be a part of it. It kind of makes sense when you consider the fact that Toyota and Tricon have a very close relationship. I would argue even closer than Legacy Motor Club, for example. So this would not be a shock to see this be officially announced. But if this is the case, Tricon to be part of the NASCAR Cup Series and a one-off appearance with Truex Jr. in the Daytona 500, that'd also be a very cool thing to see happen. To see Truex get an opportunity to finally win the race that he so closely lost back in 2016 to his then kind of teammate Denny Hamlin, there by just few inches in the closest 500 ever. But yeah, that one also is kind of a rumor swirling around. Now, could this lead to Tricon doing anything about expanding? I don't really think so. More than likely, if this were to be announced, if this were to take place, there will be heavy affiliation from Joe Gibbs Racing. I highly doubt this will be just Tricon just trying a one-off appearance on their own. This will definitely be something that has the help of JGR all over it. Could this possibly lead to an expansion of Tricon to do something more than just a Truck Series Racing? Is that something that Todd Gilliland has in his future? I don't think so. I feel like they're pretty much set in just building and having a feeder system to help Toyota in their TRD program, from the trucks to Xfinity with Joe Gibbs Racing and Sam Hunt Racing, and then to the Cup Series. So it is awesome just to see, soon as January hits, all the rumors swirling around the Daytona 500. If we take a look at the Daytona 500 open cars for 2025, we have 36 charters. This is what the 2025 500 entry list looks like in terms of open cars. So we have Rick Ware Racing, the number 15 ride. That will be in the 500, although we don't know who will be the driver at the moment. We do know Mike Wallace will be returning to the Cup Series for the first time in years, driving for MBM Motorsports in that number 66 Ford. JJ Yeley will return to NY Racing as they try to compete to qualify for the 500 after just missing it last year, thanks to Jimmy Johnson. Now, Helio Castroneves, he's colored in yellow because, again, although sources are leaning into that direction, nothing has been confirmed. Beard Motorsports and their number 62 car, they have always been in the race in some way, shape, or form at all super speedway events, so no reason why they wouldn't compete in the 2025 running of the Great American Race. Truex Jr., like I mentioned, he is colored in yellow. He wants to run. Again, sources leading to believe that maybe Tricon will be the team to help him field a car to make the race, but again, nothing's been confirmed. Jimmy Johnson, we know he will be a part of the 500, will attempt to qualify in the number 84 Toyota for Legacy Motor Club. Amerivet Chevrolet Racing in the number 50 car. Again, they have competed in the 500 in the last couple years with Connor Daly behind the wheel. Again, though, no driver announcement has been made, and BJ McLeod is all but certain he will compete in the 500 in his Live Fast Motorsports number 78 car. So that is around 42 to 45 cars. 42 cars are all but confirmed. 3 others are questionable. Castroneves, Truex, and the number 50 car have been officially confirmed, but again, it is leaning into that direction. If that is the case, it looks like that this could be the biggest entry field for the Daytona 500 since 2015, when 49 cars attempted to make that race. That is awesome. Obviously, more cars are trying to attempt races, especially more cars to attempt the 500, is a big deal, and it makes the dual races that much more interesting, especially when you look at the names that could be in the running for this race. I mean, Castroneves, Truex, and Johnson. Those 3 names alone, I mean, 4-time Indy 500 champion, a former Cup Series champion, and a 7-time champion trying to make the field for the Daytona 500 will for sure be a big talking point leading into this race. And you compile that with the little teams that are trying to make it, like the BJ McLeods, the JJ Yaleys, the Mike Wallaces of the world, and things like that. Beard Motorsports and teams like that, they're trying to make it into the 500, trying to go up against the big dogs. Again, more cars making the field or trying to attempt to make the field is just going to make the duels and make the 500 that much more interesting leading up to Sunday's main event. But man, it feels good to get back to talking about some good things going on with NASCAR, to get back into talking about the 500, because I must say that I've missed it. I've missed talking about videos like this because the Heat are making me depressed and the Dolphins are going to make me want to jump off a cliff. So I cannot wait for NASCAR to come back. Cannot wait for the Rolex 24 to come back. Racing season 2025 is getting ready to kick off, and I'm super excited to see what happens in the coming weeks leading up to the Rolex 24, and of course leading up to the Daytona 500 in 40-something, I think 43 days time. But what are your thoughts on today's news and rumors going on? Do you think Castroneves and Truex will be in the race for the 500? If so, how do you think they're going to do? Do you expect any more upcoming drivers to maybe step up to say that they could race for the 500? Again, let me know all your thoughts about this race in the comment section down below. Until next time, my name is Jett from MDK. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Thank you all so much for all the support you have shown the last few months. And as always, we'll see y'all next time.
You can't tell me now about time. Do you know how many lines I done put down, vibes I done sent out? But we ain't here to dig. I'll up the market till they come red carpet the kids. Success still the target. Soon I'll be crossing that bridge, but can't bring everybody with me, family only. I got some people think I owe a favor, barely know me. That's why my focus on the road, it's all I know. I see them sticking close to play the wall.